Hi, I'm James Catherall, co-founder of Catherall Audio. Today, I'm bringing you 5 great tips to improve your quality of life with MainStage. These are all topics that I've been wanting to discuss, but aren't long enough to justify their own video. So I put them all together jam-packed into this. Let's get started. Now, MainStage does not allow you to create user templates in the same way that you can for a DAW like Logic Pro. But what you can do is create a layout that you can export and import to your old or new concerts. This is super convenient for similar types of projects. You can make a super detailed layout that is totally perfect for your use case in MainStage, and then instead of needing to painstakingly recreate it for every new concert, you can just export the layout and import it to a different concert. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to start with our Catherall Audio MainStage template. If you'd like to download this template, there will be a link down in the description. In layout mode, there's a gear here at the top right. I'm going to click that, and then we have the option to import or export our layout. I'm going to click export, and now this takes us to this layout folder inside of MainStage. I already have one exported right here, but you can just title it whatever you want, and then hit export. Now let's open up a new concert. I'm going to go to File, and then New. I'm going to close this one, and then let's go with Keyboard Minimalist. Now let's go over to Layout, and I'm going to go back to this gear at the top right, and this time I'm going to choose Import, and I'm going to pick that Catherall Audio layout, and then click Import. And now it's going to warn us. It's going to say that importing this layout is going to erase your old layout and you can't undo it. I'm going to say yes, I do want to do that. And there we go. Now we have our new layout imported into this different concert. Now this is especially great if you're using it on a consistent setup because it will remember all of your hardware assignments. If you're using this on a different rig, then you'll need to reassign all of the hardware. Other than that, it'll be good to go. Now, this next one will be a bit of a sidestep to the last tip. Previously, I had said that MainStage does not allow you to create templates, which is true. But this will allow you to create something similar to a template. Let's start with the end result so you can see what this will create for you. I have a folder here with all of my templates. I'm going to click on MainStage template, and then on the bottom right, I have this button that says template creation. And this button isn't normally there. I created this one specially for this function. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open up MainStage. And what that button has done is create a duplicate of that file and then put that onto my desktop and automatically opened it for me. And then I can just go up here and give this a new title. And now I have my new concert ready to go. All right, now let's talk about how I put that together. I'm going to open up an app called Automator. I'm going to do Command Spacebar, type in Automator and hit enter. This is an app that comes stock with all Mac computers. It is incredibly complex and deep, and we'll just barely be scratching the surface of what it can do for you. This one we're going to create today, though, is going to be pretty straightforward. Okay, so here's the Automator. First thing I'm going to do is click New Document. We're going to start with a quick action and go to Choose. And now at the top where it says Workflow Receives, I'm going to click that drop-down menu and go to Files or Folders. And then on this left side, I'm going to click this Finder icon. I'm going to start with Copy Finder Items. I'm going to click and drag that in. And then here it says where it's going to copy it to. It defaults to the desktop. You can change it to another destination if you want, but I'm just going to leave it on desktop. And then after that, we're going to go down here to Open Finder Items and drag that in. And this says Open with Default Application. We're going to leave it like that. So now we're going to save this. You can give it any title you want. I called mine Template Creation. You can give it a different title, but that's what's going to appear on that button in your Finder window. And that's it. It's a pretty simple process, but a huge time saver if you create a lot of MainStage concerts. I'd say even if you're only creating 1 or 2 concerts a year, this can still be a great thing to make since it's so quick and easy to do. Another bonus tip for this one is that it'll work for any other application on your computer as well. I often use this so I can have Sibelius templates on my computer too. MainStage and Logic Pro are sister programs to each other, and they use the same plugins. What this means is I can create presets and channel strips in one application and will also appear in the other application as well. For this reason, I do all of my sound design inside of Logic Pro, so once I'm done and happy with how it sounds, I can directly import it into MainStage, and it'll be the exact same sound. It saves a lot of time and also gives me ease of mind as a designer that I can create things in Logic Pro and take the time to detail the sound, since I know it will be the exact same sound inside of my MainStage concert, rather than trying to recreate any of my sounds on some other hardware synth or keyboard. So let's check out how it works. So here's my Logic Pro project. This is what it looks like when I'm getting most of my sound design done. I have this channel strip right here that I really like. Let's hear what it sounds like. And now I want to take that and export it so that I can bring it directly into my MainStage concert. I'm going to go here to the left on this channel strip, and at the top where it says setting, I'm going to click that and then save channel strip setting as. And now it's going to bring me to this area where I can save all of my instrument channel strips. I suggest creating a new folder for something like this. That way all of the channel strips from a certain project stays together, and then it can also make it easy down the road. If you remember you created a really cool sound for a certain project, you can just go to that folder and look at all the sounds that you created. So I'm going to do this one. I'll just call it Catherall Audio, and then I'll just title this Pluck, and then hit save. All right, and now let's head over to our MainStage concert. Now I have my MainStage concert open. Let's add a patch, and then I'm going to add a channel strip, make it a software one, and then here at that same area at the top where it says setting, I'm going to click that and go to where it says user channel strip settings, and then here are all those folders I created. So here's Catherall Audio 1, and then there's Pluck, and then here's the channel strip. And we can see that it saved everything on here. I have the instrument, and then I have all these plugins. Only thing that it won't save are any of your sends, but everything else will be in there. Even panning, even levels, all that kind of stuff will be saved in that channel strip. Another bonus is that once you save the channel strip in Logic Pro, it'll automatically show up in your MainStage concert that you already have open. You don't need to close it or refresh it or anything. It's just ready to go. Now, this is a pretty straightforward tip, but it's often overlooked. You should always create backups of your concerts on a flash drive and update it after every rehearsal. So here's my flash drive right here. There are a couple times this will save you from a major headache or total disaster. If a patch gets deleted or something major gets altered in the concert and you didn't notice until much later, then that can cause a problem. But if you have it backed up, you can pop in the flash drive and go back to whatever you saved on it last. Or scenario 2. If you're at a competition and your computer decides to bite the dust in that moment, or for whatever reason becomes unusable, you can take the flash drive and plug it into any other Mac computer with MainStage and you'll be good to go. This is more feasible if you're in the marching arts community because it's highly likely that at least one other ensemble at the competition will have a Mac computer that is properly spec'd for MainStage usage. This has saved me plenty of times and it's so cheap and easy. A MainStage concert at most is a couple gigs, and I don't think you can find a flash drive that's smaller than 16 gigs if you tried. Then you just plug it into the computer and drag the concert onto the drive and wait a few minutes for it to upload and you're done. This is a really important one because you might be thinking like, hey, I've been using MainStage for like 5 or 6 years and I've really never needed anything like this. But you never know, and maybe like 2 or 3 years from now, you're gonna run into that problem and you're gonna wish that you had this flash drive with it backed up. Or the opposite is if you start doing this and you might do it for 8 years and never need it, but then after that 8 years you run into that problem, you need a backup of the concert and now you have it right here and you can go, great, saved my life, I have this thing ready, problem solved. All right, here's a small quick tip. Let's call this tip 4.5. I think it goes without saying that it's important to save your MainStage concerts often, but did you know that you can tell if there are unsaved changes made to your concert? If you look at the top of the window, you can see the yellow MainStage logo. If the logo is a faded color, that means there are unsaved changes on the concert. Once you save it, then it turns back to its full color. This can be convenient if you're unsure if it's fully saved or not. Final tip is screen sharing. Once I learned about this one, it drastically improved the quality of life when using MainStage. This function comes native with every Mac computer, so you don't have to worry about downloading any extra software. The only thing you'll need for this are a MacBook Pro, outside of the one that's being used for MainStage, and a wireless router. Now let's walk through all the steps to set this up. First, we're going to start on the computer that's hosting MainStage, and I'm going to open the system preferences, and I'm going to go to this sharing folder right here, this blue folder. Click on that. And on the top left, there's this area that says screen sharing. I want to make sure that box is checked. Then to the right of that, this button that says computer settings, I'm going to click on that. And I want to make sure that anyone may request permission to control screen is checked, and then hit OK. And the last one is here at the top where it says computer name. You want to make sure you give this a title that you're going to remember, because that's what's going to show up when you're searching for this computer in the Finder window. Now let's talk safety for a second, because doing this stuff can make people a bit worried because it's giving someone else access to control your computer. For someone to be able to do this, they need to be on the same network as the MainStage computer, and they either need to be granted access by the person at the computer, or they need to know the username and password for the account on the computer. So there's still some protection in place. It doesn't completely open up your computer to anyone that wants to control. Now, let's look in our Finder window. On the left side, I want to click on this area that says network. If you don't see that area, you want to go up to the Finder preferences, and then here where it says Bonjour Computers, you want to make sure that's checked. Once you do that, then this should pop up. And these are all of the computers that I can share with that are connected to my network. So this is the one I want to click. This is the James MacBook Pro. I'm going to click that, and then on the top right, it says share screen. I'm going to click that. So for my computer, it's going to be a little bit different because both of these are on the same Apple ID, but if you're sharing with another computer that's on a different Apple ID, a window will pop up that will either have you request access to share with that other computer, or you can sign in as a registered user if you know the username and password for that computer. Type it in, hit enter, and it will automatically share. Now, if you've done all of that correctly, this window will pop up, and this is the screen of that computer that you're sharing with. So mine has the MainStage console open. I can click here and change patches, and even go over here and open plugins and edit parameters. So you'll have full control over the mouse and keyboard of the computer, and you'll be able to do anything on it just like you were actually standing in front of it yourself. This is one of my favorite things to do during rehearsals, especially if I'm in a stadium or somewhere where I can have a high up vantage point, similar to where the judges will be sitting. I can make a lot of really fast edits to MainStage and keep rehearsal flowing without needing to pause and make edits at the physical computer on the field. It's also helpful because I can get quick feedback sitting in the box and know that what I'm hearing up there is exactly what the judges will be hearing. The responsiveness of the screen sharing will depend on your network connection and how strong it is. There's usually a slight lag that is noticeable, but it's never been so bad that it's unusable. This feature has always been incredibly reliable for me, and I use it really often. So, those are our 5 quality of life tips in MainStage. Let us know some of your favorite tips in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.